Hi, this is Daniel from ForgivenFully.com, sharing with you the exclamation point of God's forgiveness. I want to ask you a question that might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Have you ever thought about your funeral? Maybe you have. Maybe you've priced out funeral expenses, especially at the time of the loss of a loved one. Or maybe you've thought about who would be there at your funeral, what they might say about you, how they might remember you. But have you ever thought about what Bible verse you would like the pastor or priest to preach on at your funeral as a comfort to your loved ones? Psalm 23 is a classic go-to. The Lord is my shepherd. He leads me through the valley of the shadow of death, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Or how about one of Jesus' powerful and comforting statements from the Gospel of John? I am the resurrection and the life. I'm relatively youngish, but I settled on my funeral verse several years ago. And here it is. God justifies the wicked. Does that seem like an odd choice to you for a funeral verse? Well, let me explain my reasoning. First of all, I chose this verse because of the common funeral sentiment, he was a good person. Now, I hope people do see me as a good person, but frankly, it's not their judgment that I'm concerned about when I'm dead. It's God's. See, God's standard of good is so much higher than ours, and I know that I haven't lived up to it. I'll never forget the testimony at my grandpa's funeral that was written in the bulletin for his funeral service. It said, he was a good man, but he knew that he was never good enough to meet God's holy standard, never good enough to earn anything from God. And that brings me to the second reason why I chose this verse. A truth that my grandpa knew well, a truth that enabled him to live in peace and die in peace. You see, the good news of full forgiveness in Jesus never means more to me than in those piercing moments when I realize that I am wicked. Well, that means that this truth is for me. God justifies me. God justifies the wicked. Whenever you come face to face with who you are as a sinner, run to a verse like this. Do you realize that you are wicked? Then this truth is for you. God justifies the wicked. That is, through Jesus, God sees you just as if you've never sinned. This is the fullness of forgiveness in Jesus. This is the exclamation point of God's forgiveness. Thank you for your time, and may God bless you with what you heard here today at ForgivenFully.com.